What's up, y'all? Chrome Corner back again. Me and my boy Charlie T for UFC 275. I got the liquor flowing today.
I got the water flowing today.
Charlie's got the water flowing. You know, hey, you can flow that H2O. It's all good.
Gotta stay hydrated.
Gotta stay hydrated. I got my water right outside this room. I already downed one water bottle ahead of the drink because I was like, let me go ahead and get started on the hydration. But we got a little bit of screwball, which you can't see. You can see it here. It's out of the back of the screen. Have you ever had screwball?
Never had it.
You like whiskey? Or no, you don't drink, do you?
I drink some.
You drink some? Just a little bit?
Yeah. Give me some proper 12.
Okay, so you like whiskey. You like whiskey?
I do like whiskey.
Okay,
yeah,
so
like whiskey.
Screwball is like a whiskey that's so good, and when I say this, I'm serious. I'm not someone who drinks like the hard stuff, and I'm like, I don't even feel the burn or anything. You drink Screwball straight with ice. I just have like one like big ice ball in this, and it tastes real good by itself. It's like that sweet of a whiskey.
I've never heard of a whiskey that tasted good by itself.
I know, man. You'll have to try Screwball. It's pretty good. I had one of my followers on IG suggest it for me when I was asking for suggestions. But anyways,
speaking of, before we get
yeah, what's
into
up?
it, speaking of IG, you tell us how your Blue Deltas are wearing. My dude got a free pair of custom Blue Delta jeans.
Yeah, that's right, man. That's right. I appreciate you bringing that up, actually. So if y'all aren't familiar, Blue Delta jeans, they're a jean company that will custom make you some blue jeans, and then you probably in your head are like, I've never even bought custom blue jeans. You just go to the store and get your size, right? But I'm telling you, when you get your custom size, it's a whole different ball game. It fits perfect. The material that Blue Delta uses, like, I don't know how they do it or what the inner workings of the company are.
Yeah, it's 100% raw denim. And that's why it feels so good, and that's why it kind of stretches to your, makes it a lot more comfortable.
Yeah, very comfortable. Like on my waist, I've never had, because I always have a discrepancy between how like muscular my thighs are versus how like small my waist is. And I have a weird body type, I guess, because I've been lifting for so long and I have a high metabolism. And so these jeans, they fit amazing. They feel amazing. So yeah, I'm extremely happy with them, and I'm going to be posting some content to promote them pretty soon too. I'll probably do a photo shoot or something. But Charlie actually fits people, right, for Blue Delta?
Blue Delta partners with my company, Tom James. Yes, I fit people for custom Blue Delta jeans made right here in America, actually 90 minutes from where I live in Tupelo, Mississippi. So check them out. You get a great product worn by the Mannings, Dak Prescott, a lot of country music singers, and Chrome.
That's right. Now worn by Chrome. Yeah, and they've been extremely nice, and it's been a pleasure to work with them. I've been texting my guy that's at Blue Delta, and Charlie's got his connections as well. So if you guys want to get fitted for that too, you can contact Charlie if you're in the Memphis area, right? And then, so if you want to comment on the page, if you want to send me a DM, him a DM, our Instagrams are always in the description, so you can find us there. But we'll get to the fights now. UFC 275. The main event is Glover Teixeira versus Yuri Prochazka. Two guys that kind of both have come out of nowhere. Teixeira has come out of nowhere in the sense that he's been around a long time and he's never really been championship level until recently he surged to the top. And then Prochazka out of nowhere because he literally came into the UFC and has been just beating people down since he got here. So it's going to be a fun main event to watch, but we'll start from the bottom of the card, the first fight on the card, as we always do, and you always have the first pick, Charlie. The first two guys we have fighting are Jack Della Maddalena and Ramazan Emeev. Two names really hard to say. I hope I didn't butcher them too bad. And Emeev is coming off of a loss. Jack we'll just go with Jack, is coming off of a win. He's been doing pretty well for himself. So who do you have and why?
Well, this is like a kind of a matchup between a guy who's kind of like a seasoned veteran at this point in the UFC and Amib, and kind of a newcomer in Jack Madalena. Hope I got it right. But dude, I watched Jack on Dana White's Contender Series. Dude, sharp. Had that unanimous decision win. In his last fight, he fought on the Nagano Cyril Gahn card. Dude, he handled his business in the first round. That was impressive. And Amib has been pretty streaky in his last few fights. I know he had that unanimous decision loss to Anthony Martin, and he had that his last fight was a split decision to Danny Roberts, which if you go back and actually watch that fight, I feel like it could have gone either way. Obviously, this was a split decision, but based purely on his last fight and that knockout, I'm taking Jack. I think he's got some heavy hands, and I think he lands another knockout here. I'm going second round knockout. Okay.
All right. Well, we're going to start out on the same path today. I've got Madalena as well. He's got a more consistent record, and he's got 8 KOs out of his 11 wins that he has. So like you said, his hands are on point. I did watch Amib's last fight. I believe he lost his last fight in a split decision, if I remember right. But I watched him in that fight, and he does have hands. I mean, he does bring a challenge to the table for Madalena, but I'm going to go with Madalena as well. So with that, we move on to the next fight. We've got Andre Fiallo and Jake Matthews. Jake Matthews coming off of a loss. Fiallo coming off of a win. Kind of same setup as the last fight. I'm going to go with Fiallo. I don't know a ton about either one of these guys. Matthews' record seems a little wishy-washy for me. There's not a ton of consistency in wins in there. No long streaks of wins.
He's got an impressive win over Diego Sanchez, though.
That's true. That's a big name.
He handled Diego pretty easily. That was his fight that was his second to last fight.
Okay. So what was that, probably like 2019?
It was September 2020.
Oh, 2020. Okay, so he's fought he's pretty active. I'm going to go with Fiallo. I think that he gets it done with maybe a TKO. I was pretty impressed with his last performance. He straight up KO'd a guy. I just think that they're kind of setting him up for a win here with Matthews coming off of a loss. But you never know. I don't think there's not a big discrepancy between these guys.
Well, what's your pick?
Fiallo. TKO, I'm going to go second round.
This is a tough one.
Yeah.
Because on one hand, Jake Matthews has proven, he can fight in the UFC. He's a veteran. He's beaten, like we said, the likes of Diego Sanchez. That last fight to Sean Brady, he got submitted. That was tough. You've got on one side, Fiallo has some heavy hands. He knocks guys out left and right.
Yeah. It takes one with him.
Oh, yeah, it just takes one. But on the other hand, you have Jake Matthews, who only has one knockout loss.
What do you think? How do you think it pans out?
It all comes down to whether or not Matthews can avoid that one big shot. Mm-hmm. And I'm going to predict, this is going out on a limb, I'm going to predict that he does. And I'm taking him by unanimous decision. Move
on to the third fight of the night. This is a huge fight to not even be to the co-main event yet. I mean, this is a fight that was a complete banger last time. Last time it got, it was, if not fight of the year, I think it was runner-up for fight of the year, or it was the female fight of the year, something like that.
Female fight of the year, yeah.
Female fight of the year, okay. So we've got Zhang Weili versus Joanna Jędrzejczyk. So if anyone remembers watching this fight, it was to the bell of the 5th round, just a slugfest. Both girls extremely tough. Neither one of them wanted to go to the ground. They were slugging it out, and Joanna had a big hematoma on her face, which those pictures were probably pretty viral at the time. So we're back to you as the guest, Charlie. Zhang Weili coming off of a loss, but it's to the champ, Rose. And then Joanna, in her last fight was who was her? Was their last fight Weili?
Her last fight was Zhang.
Okay, her last fight was Zhang Weili. She hasn't fought in what, 2 years or a year and a half?
2 years.
2 years. Okay. Who do you got and why, man?
Dude, so the first fight, I thought Joanna won.
Okay.
I thought she landed more significant strikes. I think the visual impact of her head swelling up kind of played into the decision going the other way. I thought she won. And so you look at Zhang, you look at the fact that very possibly her last 3 fights all very well could have been losses.
Mm-hmm.
And so I was a little flabbergasted when I saw her fight Rose for the second time. Because I was on board with that being kind of a fluke knockout, that head kick by Rose. Yeah. I didn't think she could go 5 rounds with Zhang and beat her for the title that way. She proved me wrong, but it also kind of exposed Zhang, I guess, over 5 rounds. And the thing is, I would normally pick against her here, but Joanna hasn't fought in 2 years. You have to take ring rust into account.
Yeah.
I guess she's one of the best in the world, but she hasn't fought since UFC 248. It was over 2 years ago.
You bring up a great point.
And what I'm worried about is every time there's just a classic fight between 2 people, and the person who kind of takes a longer layoff comes back a little bit rustier. And I just can't pick against Zhang losing a 3rd fight in a row.
Okay.
I think she knocks out Joanna, and I think it comes in the 2nd or 3rd round. I'm going to go 3rd round.
Do you think Joanna retires after that?
Yes, because
if she gets knocked out.
She's not very active.
You got Weili Zhang by what?
3rd round knockout.
3rd round knockout. Okay. And it's a 3-round fight, so they will be able to go a little bit harder for those 3 rounds than the previous time they fought was championship fight, right?
Yep.
This fight, you're saying that you think Weili's going to win in a 3rd round knockout. I think Joanna's going to come back and win.
Yeah.
So this is going to be, hey, one of us is going to be completely wrong or completely right. On to the co-main event of the night. We've got Valentina Shevchenko versus Tayla, I believe is how you pronounce it, Santos. And I picked this fight, I believe. We're on the 4th fight, yes. So for me, well, first let me say Valentina Shevchenko for, possible new listeners. Valentina Shevchenko is the champion. Tayla Santos is ranked number 4. Shevchenko is world-renowned as the best or the best other than Amanda Nunes as far as female fighters ever. So she's either tied or will pass. We think she'll pass Ronda Rousey's record for the most title defenses as a female. Part of what I think kept Amanda Nunes from passing that is probably because she had 2 belts and she was having to go back and forth and defend both. But anyways, still amazing nonetheless. Known as number 1 or 2 ever of all time, Valentina Shevchenko for females. And then we have Tayla Santos, who comes in with a bunch of knockouts of females in her career. She's ranked number 4. She's a tough competitor. She's definitely not someone that I see this being a walk in the park for Valentina Shevchenko. But for me, I'm still going to go with Shevchenko. I think that she's extremely athletic. She's technically sound. More technically sound than Santos. I watched a couple of Santos fights. But I think Santos is going to give her a run, man. I think she's a tough chick. I don't think it's going to be a finish in the 1st or 2nd round. I think that it's going to be when One of them gets a little more tired, which I think is going to be Santos. I think Shevchenko's extreme technicality in her skills is going to, pull her to the top, and she's going to beat Santos. I'm going to go with a, let's say, 4th round submission.
Oh, submission. I agree. I mean, Santos does have all those knockouts on her record. Unfortunately, none of them have come in the UFC against top-level competition. They all came in that minor league organization she was in. So, as far as I'm concerned, against top-level competition, she's a decision fighter.
Mm-hmm.
And we have all seen what Valentina Shevchenko does against decision fighters. Look what she did to Lauren Murphy. Look what she did to Jessica Andrade.
Mm-hmm.
She eats their lunch, dude. She is so, I want to say, suffocating in the octagon. She gives you no room. She stays on you. Her pace is incredible. Her hands are quick. She is lightning in her hands, too.
Mm-hmm.
She is no way going to lose this fight. If she does, then shit, I'm crazy. But I see no shot she loses, and I think she knocks her out relatively early. I'll go second round knockout.
Second round knockout. All right, so you got second round knockout Shevchenko. I've got 4th
he
round.
He knocked out Andrade in the second round. So she definitely can knock out Santos in the second round.
Yeah, that was a hell of a fight because Andrade is she's no slouch. We've got Glover Teixeira versus Yuri Prochazka. Glover's the champion. Yuri is ranked number 2. We're to Charlie for this pick. Both guys obviously coming off of wins. Yuri is a fast, light on his feet striker. Glover is a extremely competent grappler. He's got some decent striking as well. He's more of a slow, beat you slowly fighter, and Yuri is a beat you fast fighter. So who do you have and why, Charlie?
Well, it's all about, I feel like, what state they are in their career.
Mm-hmm.
Glover, I never expected him to go on this type of run this late in his career. I mean, It's been absolutely incredible to see.
Kudos to him.
Because I thought he was on the decline ever since he fought John Jones 7 years ago for the title. But, he weathered the storm. I mean, he got knocked out by Anthony Johnson and Alexander Gustafsson too, but he just kept on getting better. And I don't know how the hell he won the title at 42 years old. But Yuri is a fucking monster. That guy has some hands of steel. He doesn't win fights by submission or by decision. He knocks you out.
Mm-hmm.
That was a brutal knockout of Dominic Reyes in his last fight. I think he's super impressive. And the only reason I'm taking him is because of Glover's age. I think if Glover was 5-6 years younger, this would be more of a toss-up in my mind. But I think this stage is set for Yuri to take down Glover, and I think he takes him down by knockout. And I'm gonna say the 3rd round.
3rd round.
But I do want to add on to that someone's got to make the light heavyweight division great again, because it's slacking right now. If a 42-year-old guy can win the title, then there's the competition problem.
Absolutely, I agree, and I think that it comes down to the same thing you're saying it comes down to, which is the age of Teixeira and where he's at in his career versus Prochazka. I've got Prochazka winning as well. I don't know when it'll happen, but I'm thinking between rounds 1 and 3, because the only evidence of him losing anytime recently at all, which it wasn't very recently, but he lost to King Mo by knockout in Ryzen, I believe it was.
It was Risen.
Risen,
Yeah,
and then he also... What's that?
It's over in Japan.
Right. And then he also came back and beat King Mo in Risen. So you have, he came back and solidified that victory over the guy he lost to. He got knocked out cold. Other than that, Prochazka's pretty much just mollywopped everybody, you know what I mean? And so I see him doing the same to Teixeira. I don't think Teixeira has very good head movement at all. And I think Prochazka is extremely athletic and fast. So I think he's going to be able to do a good job of getting away from the takedowns of Teixeira for the first 3 rounds. The only thing that I think could deter this and him lose is the same thing that happened in the first King Mo fight. If he gets taken down early and gets worn out and just gets pounded on for a few rounds, then it's going to make it harder for him because his speed's going to go away, which is going to help Teixeira, and he's not going to have the power as much. It's going to help Teixeira. But I still see Prochazka winning just for the sake of picking. I'm going to go second round TKO. And so that's all of our picks for UFC 275, guys. I do want to make sure I don't forget Dry Scoop USA. Got DSA on the shirt. Dry Scoop USA sent me this t-shirt. For those of you who take pre-workout out there and you do the whole dry scoop and then just follow it by water thing, Dry Scoop USA sent me this tee. I appreciate it. Shout out to them. And yeah, man, that's our picks for UFC 275, Charlie T and Chrome. You got anything to send them off with, Charlie?
I wish that Robert Whittaker was fighting on this card, but whatever.
It would have made the card
so
much better.
Would have been great.
It's already a great card, but so much better.
Yep.
But yeah, so UFC 275, that's our picks, guys. We're out.